In this video, I'm giving you my top 6 biggest secrets to be a better crypto trader. This will make you so much money if you follow these tips. And you can always come back to this video if you can't finish it all at once. So this video is jam-packed full of information. So before we begin, I want you to grab a pen and paper so that you can take notes as I go through this whole video. And feel free to watch this video as often as you need so that you can really learn this information and understand how to use it. For those of you that are new to the channel, my name's Ben. I've made over 6 figures trading crypto. I'm a full-time trader and I want to share with you everything that I know. Let's go. Number 1 tip is Bitcoin trading is superior to USD trading. We're going to go onto my Coinbase Pro account so I can show you exactly what Bitcoin trading is. So we're here on Coinbase Pro, and Bitcoin trading is every single pair, every coin has a pair with Bitcoin. So if you scroll down on Coinbase Pro, you'll see all the USD pairs, USDC pairs, and then we get down to the Bitcoin pairs. Ethereum against Bitcoin, ADA against Bitcoin, Doge against Bitcoin, etc. So whatever coin you want to trade, you want to look for its Bitcoin pair. So in this example, I'm going to look at NU. So I'm going to scroll down, look for NU against Bitcoin. Here it is. So you see this random number right next to it, NU against Bitcoin, with all these zeros, 0.0000638. What does this number mean with all the zeros? This is the Bitcoin price of NU, or essentially, this is how much of a Bitcoin you can get with one NU. So another way to call this is Satoshi value, or SAT. So one Satoshi is 0.00000001. So 7 zeros and then a 1 is 1 Satoshi. And then 4 zeros and a 1, so 0.00001 is 1,000 Satoshis, or 1,000 sats. And then 1 million sats is 0.01, so 10. 0.0000638. So how many Satoshis is that? I'll give you a few seconds to figure that out. You got it? That's correct. It's 638 sats. Now let's look at a different one to quiz you. Band is at 0.00018,857. So take a second and write down how many Satoshis that is. You got it? So it's 18,857 Satoshis, or 18,857 sats. Now let's do one more example. Let's look at Ethereum. So Ethereum is 0.06927. So how many Satoshis is that? That's correct. It's 6,927,000 Satoshis, or 6,927,000 sats. So now that we understand the terms of the Satoshis, what these values mean, we got to figure out how this works. We're going back to NU, and it's at 635 Satoshis. So what this means is, in order to buy NU at this price, you have to have some Bitcoin. And essentially what you're doing is you're using that Bitcoin to buy NU at this price, at this value. And then when you sell your NU, you're getting Bitcoin back for that. So if NU goes up 10%, so it's at 640 Satoshis right now, if it goes up to about 700 Satoshis, you're up 10%. So basically whatever you bought, however much Bitcoin you use to get that NU, it would be increased by 10%. You'd have 10% more Bitcoin from that. So let's say you put in 0.01 Bitcoin for NU at 640, then it goes up to 700. So now instead of getting 0.01 Bitcoin, you get 0.011 Bitcoin if you sold it all. So the difference that you would make is 0.001 Bitcoin. So an example, NU went from 500 Satoshis to about over 700 Satoshis just in the past week or so, and I sold some around 700, and I have orders all the way back down at 526 Satoshis, and even some at like 600 Satoshis. So a little bit above where it's at right now. And if it comes down to those prices, I'll make anywhere between 20 and 35% more Bitcoin from that trade. And if it never comes back down and hits my buy orders, I basically still made that 30 or 35% more Bitcoin from that trade. And when you're trading against Bitcoin, you want to follow the same instructions that I do, where you're not selling everything or buying everything at once. You want to use about 5 to 10% of your holding when you make a trade, when you sell some, so that you can rebuy at a lower price. If it keeps going up, then you can sell more and then rebuy at a lower price. So in this example, I'm even going to cancel this order of new right here, and I'm going to go to the 6-hour chart, and I'm going to show you that it went up to about 700 Satoshis a few times and came back down quite a bit lower. If we bought back right now, we would still make 16 new because I sold 1,000 of them. But since I sold pretty close to this price, we're going to go ahead and put the order in at 589 Satoshis, because looking at the previous charts, we could see it came back down to that price a few times, stayed around there. And so our order would be for 1,102 new. So if it comes back down to that price, I make that difference of 102 new. So I placed my order, and now it's just a waiting game at this point. And I have more new to sell at higher prices. If it were to go up past 1,000 Satoshis, I have orders up there and even higher. Now, why is trading against Bitcoin so important? First thing is it keeps your money in the market. You're going from altcoins to Bitcoins and vice versa, instead of going to USD. So the market can move however it wants and your money is still in the market. It's still invested in crypto. Second thing is there's way more trading opportunities when you're trading against Bitcoin versus against USD. When you're trading against USD, all you're hoping for is that it has a correction and that it can come down. But with trading against Bitcoin, there's so many different ways that you can make trades, because if Bitcoin outperforms altcoins, there's trade opportunities there. If altcoins outperform Bitcoin, there's trading opportunities there. If they both go down at the same time, there's opportunities there, because sometimes altcoins fall more than Bitcoin. So those are trading opportunities there. And then the same when they both go up at the same time, altcoins sometimes outperform Bitcoin, and there's trading opportunities there. And even more is when Bitcoin goes on a run by itself. In like October of last year, when Bitcoin went from like 10K all the way up to about 20 to 30K, and altcoins lost value, they went down or stayed around the same price, and Bitcoin just outperformed them. So the altcoin trading pairs with Bitcoin just went down a crazy amount, and that can happen a lot too. So it opens up so many different opportunities for trades. And then the third thing is it's a win-win opportunity, because you're either increasing your altcoin positions from these trades or you're increasing your Bitcoin position for these trades. So every single time you make a trade, you're just growing your portfolio bigger. And a lot of the times what I'll do is I'll take some of the profits and just funnel them into Bitcoin, and just take profits and put them into Bitcoin, so that instead of reinvesting the money into the trade, so for this example where I sold 1,000, instead of rebuying 1,102 new, I would just buy back 1,000 new and then take that profit and put it into Bitcoin and hold on to that Bitcoin and just continue that process. Now we're moving on to tip number 2. It's the active trading strategy. Now what is that? So here's what it is. It requires you to check the charts every couple hours. If you see a coin up 10 to 20% in the last few hours or so, during that day, you need to take some profits and sell about 5% of your holding of that coin with the intention to rebuy at a lower price. Let's say you bought something at $100 and then now it went down to $50, and then today it's at $60, so it's up 20%. You still need to make that trade even though it's lower than your buy price. And it's so important to do these trades no matter what, because this is what's going to build your portfolio no matter what the market is doing. For an example, I bought one Ethereum at $3,000, and then it comes all the way back down to $2,000, and then we see it bounce up to $2,400 in one day, and so it's up 20% for the day. So what I would do is I would sell 0.05 Ethereum at that price, and then I put in a price lower at that $2,000 mark, but basically back where it dropped to its lowest point. And if that order went through, then I would get 0.06 Ethereum instead of 0.05 that I sold at 2,400. So that difference of 0.01 Ethereum would add to your portfolio. So instead of just having one Ethereum, now you have 1.01 Ethereum. So you made 0.01 Ethereum from that trade. So imagine you're doing this with multiple coins a day, and you're just adding to your portfolio with 10 plus different coins at the same time. This will make a huge impact on your portfolio down the road. And here's the reasoning behind this strategy. I've mentioned this many times before, but it's so important and such a crucial thing to learn in the crypto space. So over the years being in the crypto space, I've seen this pattern so many times. When coins go up 10 or 20%, they typically have a 5 to 10% pullback. Of course, this will not happen every single time, but because of that, I've learned this risk management by not selling everything, by only selling a portion of your portfolio for the off case that it does continue to go up and not have that correction. So this is why I only sell about 5% of my holding in that coin, just because it can continue to rise, and if it continues to rise, we'll make those gains in that coin. Every single time you sell 5%, it's gonna be less. Let's say, for example, you have 1,000 coins and you sell 5%, so now you only have 950 left. Well, the next time that it goes up 20% and you haven't hit your buyback order, well, now you're gonna sell like 49 instead, or 48 instead of 50 coins. But if you're hitting these buy orders, then that number will increase. Now here's an example for you. Let's say you have 2,000 Ren and it goes up 20% or more. And so you sell 5% of them, which is 100 Ren. And then you rebuy 120 of them when it goes back down 20%. Now that you have 2,020 Ren, instead of selling 100, you'll sell 101 because that's 5% of what you're holding. Now, if you didn't hit the buy order, you would sell 100, and then the next time that it goes up, now you have 1,900, so 5% of that would be 95 coins. And then you're left with 1,805, so the next time you sell, it'll be like 91 or 92 coins, and then so on. It'll continue like that. This is so incredibly important. If you're missing out on this, then you're gonna be missing so many trades that are happening every single day. And if you've enjoyed this teaching so far, please drop a like down below. We're shooting for 100 likes to get 100 push-ups. So we crushed our 75 push-ups. We got almost 200 likes on that video. So now we're shooting for 100 likes for this video, and we're gonna be doing 100 push-ups for that, and we're gonna continue with it. I would gladly do 200 push-ups for 200 likes, and so on, to get my content out to more and more people so that we can help more and more people make a ton of money. And now tip number 3 is casual trading, how to check the markets extremely fast. And I'll go over my routine and how I do it. Now that you know the importance of actively checking the charts, it's important to do this quickly and not to spend hours and hours every single day checking them. And this is gonna save you a ton of time when you're checking the markets. First thing that I wanna emphasize is you should not be checking the markets every 10 minutes. You should be checking it periodically throughout the day and not be spending all day looking at the charts. I've made this mistake before, and by the time that I went through all the exchanges that I have, looking at all the charts, it had been 10 minutes already, and then so I was like, well, I'm just gonna check them again to see if anything changed. And then I would just find myself in this loop where I just kept checking constantly, spending hours and hours and hours on the charts every single day. And it was just such a big time consumption. And the majority of the time when I would start over and look through, nothing really changed, but it was just that, what if something changed now? That mindset that just really kept me from continuing with other things and just continually checking the charts. So most likely nothing's really going to change in 10 or 20 minutes. So it's important to space this out. I made this rule where I have to at least wait 2 hours before I check the charts again. There has to be at least 2 to 3 hours of not checking the charts before I can go back in and check them. And then when I do check them, I spend about 5 minutes or less going through, placing any trades that I see, any opportunities, and then I'm done and I move on with my day. Now, I even have struggled with this with checking my YouTube analytics. It's something that's so interesting to me, and I would be checking it every 10 or 20 minutes, see if anything's changed, and not that much would change. And so I have also applied this rule to YouTube, checking my YouTube analytics. I have to wait at least 2 to 3 hours before I can go in and check them again. Because once you become obsessed with checking these things, it's like nothing really changes and you're just wasting more and more time. This gives time for the market to make moves, for trading opportunities to open up. So then when you get on again, then you can have another chance to make more trades and spend about 5 minutes to go through all your exchanges. Okay, so now that I've talked about that, we're gonna be going through my routine, exactly how I check the charts. We're gonna see if I can do it in under 5 minutes and probably be closer to 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, first, we're on Coinbase Pro. What I'm doing is I'm just scrolling through and looking to see if any of my holdings are up 10% or more. So for example, I have some DOT and it's up 13%, but all my DOT is being staked right now. Looking through any coins that I'm holding up 10% or more. So band is up 10%, so I can actually look through here and I can even go sell some band since it's up 10%. So I'm gonna go here because I know I have some orders in for it, and I will go ahead and cancel this. Go back up to band. Here we are, and I'm gonna sell 20 of them. I'm selling them at 8.9 just so that it goes through at like 8.94 right away. See, it went through. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna even try to rebuy at $8.51 because it came down to $8.50 3 different times. So I'm gonna go 8.51, 3. So now I basically make 1 band from that trade. So 0.86 band from that trade. Done. Continue going through. See if there's anything. I did have a couple trades with Fourth that I did earlier today. Nothing that I'm seeing. Also go through the Bitcoin charts to see if there's any opportunities. All right, so now we move on to the next exchange. We're on KuCoin. We're just gonna go through my favorite tab so you can see any coins that are up. I don't hold any sushi. Like I said, my DOT is on a different exchange. I actually don't hold any Trios, but that would have been a great one to trade. I did hold some before. So the trades I'm looking for are mainly with Nimic because that's one of the ones I hold a lot of on here. So there's not really any trading opportunities on here either. And so we'll go to Binance US, look through, nope, nothing. Now we're going to crypto.com. And since the majority of my coins are locked up, there's not really much that I can trade on here. Plus I don't trade on here very often, but I'm just checking the prices. If there was something like if CRO was up 30 or 40% in one day, then I would probably sell some to take some profits off the table. So the key things to learn, I did that in 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and that was even with placing an order in the exchange. So even with placing orders, you can still do this in under 5 minutes. And so what I did, looking through key points to take away, is I was looking for 10% moves or more and doing trades when I see those opportunities. Make sure to check the candles just like I did when I sold some band at 8.90. I put in a rebuy at 8.51 because of the 3 candles that I saw just earlier today. So that's a good support level. So that's why I put my trade in right there. So I know it can probably come back down and hit that pretty easily. And if you haven't seen my video on that about how to read support and resistance levels and knowing when to buy and sell, go click on that video right here before you continue on with this video. Now, tip number 4 is very important and also one that I hear so many times. It's about how much do you need to start investing or start trading? I get this question all the time from so many different people. And here's the best advice that I can give you. First thing is whatever you can afford. That's my first answer, because it doesn't matter if you start with a small amount, whatever you can afford to invest, use that. Because when I started investing, when I was a broke college student, I was putting in about $50 every like 2 months or so, and just whenever I could afford to put in another $50, I would. And over time, my portfolio just grew to the point where it was at like $1,000 after a year or 2 of investing. And then that's when I started trading and really started to see the growth in my portfolio. So it doesn't matter what you're putting in. You could even put in 10 or 20 bucks every couple weeks or months or so, and you could work with that and let your portfolio grow off of that. Second thing is eventually you won't need to invest anymore, because from trading, from these things that I'm teaching you, you'll be able to build your portfolio off of itself. So when I started trading, I had invested about a total of $1,000, and without putting in a single penny more, I grew my portfolio to over $10,000 within the next 6 months from trading like this. And even on top of that, I withdrew money to pay for college classes, and I probably took out about a few $1,000s at that time without any part-time job, just doing this. And that was even before the bull run even began. And so a year later, after doing trades like this, I grew my portfolio to over $100,000 from trading. And I've spent tons of money on this YouTube channel to get it started, and also a lot of money on getting my website redone for my course. I've also added about 5 times more videos to my course than I had originally, just to add an insane amount of value to it. And the reason I invested so much money into these things is to teach people what I know, and I want to teach as many people and expand my reach to as many as I can so that they can be successful just like all the other people that I taught. Moral of the story is let your money work for you. Now, the third thing is the most important. You want to combine the two things that I taught you. So whatever you can afford to invest plus trades is going to take you way further than anything else. You can really speed up the progress in your portfolio by continually investing and trading at the same time. So I have a really competitive nature about myself, and when I first taught one of my best friends about how to trade like this and taught him everything that I knew, our portfolios were around the same price range at a few $1,000s. And the thing was that I wasn't working a job at the time, and he was working a job, and he was able to put in about $1,000 or more each month to add to his portfolio. And these were at the killer times when prices were very cheap. And so even though I was making more percentage-wise than his portfolio outgrew mine by an incredible rate. So he had this job for a long time and was able to invest this $1,000 for months and months and months. So I didn't have a job at all during that time. So I haven't been able to add to my portfolio for over 2 years. So even though my portfolio grew more percentage-wise, it didn't matter because his portfolio grew 3 times bigger than mine to over $400,000. So that's the power of investing while trading. It will make you so much more down the line. It doesn't matter if you're the best trader out there. If you're doing both of these things, you can outperform anybody. So this will always be the best option and will make you so much more long term. Now, if you're in the boat like me where you can only do one of the things like trading, that's perfectly fine. You can really grow your portfolio by that. But I would advise to try not to take a lot out of your portfolio because that's really what's going to build off of itself. The more that you keep in, the more that you can make. Now, tip number 5 is start small so that you can teach yourself that discipline. So for an example, instead of using 5% of your portfolio, just start with 1% so that you can kind of get used to that trading, that feeling of selling, and push through those emotions that you're going to feel because they will come. Get used to that 1% trading before we move on to a bigger chunk and using like 5% of your portfolio. When I say portfolio, I'm talking about an individual coin and what you're holding in that coin, not your whole portfolio at once. Whenever you get a feeling of like being scared, or when you don't want to sell or you don't want to buy because the prices could go even higher or go lower, those are typically the best times to be buying or selling. Those feelings prevent us from making logical and rational decisions based on what the market typically does. Now, these feelings don't go away. I still get these feelings all the time, but it's learning how to adapt and to react to those emotions. So the last time that I felt this way was when Bitcoin was around 29 or 30K, and I really thought that it was a great time to buy. I had some USD on the side, but I was just like, but I think it could go lower, so I'm just gonna wait it out. It turns out that was like the best time to be buying because just a couple days later, after I really felt like that, Bitcoin was back over 40K. So it turns out that was the best time to be buying. Next thing is focus on the small gains and on making small trades. When I started trading with my portfolio was around $1,000, and my goal was to hit $1 or $2 per trade. Now that amount will increase with time. You'll be going from making $1 or $2 a trade to then $2 to $5 a trade, $5 to $10 a trade, $10 to $20 a trade, $20 to $50, and now where I'm at the point where I'm making between $50 and a couple $100 per trade. So be patient with this. It's gonna take time, but start small, shoot for those small gains, because just know that those numbers will increase with time the more that you stick with it and stay consistent. That's one of the biggest things. You gotta stay consistent with it. Now, one of the biggest things is keep a notebook, and you want to write down every single time you make a trade and keep track of that in your notebook so that at the end of the week, you can add up all your trades that you make and celebrate the progress that you made in your portfolio. Remember to celebrate your wins and trades. Treat yourself occasionally to your favorite restaurant, dessert, drinks for making progress in your portfolio. To celebrate what you've done already in your portfolio, and you can use your CRO debit card to make those purchases so that you even earn crypto back for those purchases. And you can check out my recent video about the CRO debit card up here. And don't forget to use my referral link and we will both receive a $25 bonus paid out in CRO tokens when you stake $400 worth of CRO for the Ruby Red card. I would really appreciate it if you use my link because it really helps support the channel and it helps me to continue to create content and bring you guys more videos. Final tip of the day, tip number 6, is why you need to trade or else you will not be able to sell in a bull run. If you only get one thing from this whole entire video, I hope it's this tip right here. If you aren't doing this, trust me, you will watch your portfolio lose 80% or more of its value like I did 4 years ago. You need to be trading like I've talked about in this video or else you will not be able to sell in a bull run. Your thought process is going to be, I'm not going to sell because this can go even higher and I'm going to be rich from this. Trust me, I've thought this way so many times before. So I bought XRP at about 20 cents in 2017 and I saw it go all the way from 20 cents all the way up to $3.50. I'd put in about $800 and I watched my $800 grow into over 10 grand. And guess what happened? I said these exact same words. I was like, I'm gonna be rich, so I'm not selling because it's gonna go even higher. I watched my over 10 grand go all the way back down to $800 and even lower. Boy, did I learn my lesson. I was never gonna let that happen to me ever again. I was determined to take profits, to make gains in my portfolio, so it didn't matter if I sold at the top of the bull run, but I was going to be coming away with lots of profits. And I struggled with selling for a very, very long time until I started trading. I've always had this thought process of prices going higher and higher, and this prevented me from being logical and realistic by taking profits. Trading will teach you discipline and you'll get used to selling and how it feels. So it won't matter the circumstance, but you will be able to sell and make that logical decision. Even though we can't time the market perfectly and sell at the tops of the market, we will have sold along the way and taken profits and have a good amount of USD in our portfolio because of the discipline that we learned with trading. This will protect you, so if the market did happen to crash 80% or more at any time, instead of losing 80% since you have a big chunk in USD, your portfolio might go down 30 or 40%, which would just save you so much more in the long run. So yeah, it might go down 30% or so, but you won't see your portfolio lose 80% or more of its value. Now, if you've spent 30 minutes or more watching this video, clearly you've learned something, you've liked this information that I've been sharing with you. All this information will provide you so much value and will make you so much money down the road. Now, I've made a course that is even more in detail on all these things and has so many more things to add, so many more tips and tricks to make money in the market, and it's for all levels of traders and investors. I talk about simple things like how to set up an exchange, how to navigate exchanges, how to pay crypto taxes on trading, and so much more. So since you've watched this whole video, I want you to go check out my course because it's worth every single penny. You will make so much more as a crypto trader by taking this course. It'll put you years ahead of lessons that I had to learn that took me a long time. It'll put you that much more ahead so you don't have to make all the same mistakes that I did. Since you made it to this point in the video, I'm giving you an offer you can't refuse, and this won't be offered anywhere else. The only people that will hear about it are you guys that have made it to the end of this video. And it's a way of me saying thank you for watching this whole video. If you use the coupon code DCA, D as in dog, C as in cat, A as in apple, 10, you will get 10% off of my course. This is not offered anywhere else, only in this video to you guys that have watched the whole thing. Make the leap so that you can be more successful with crypto trading, so that you can really build up a way of making passive income. If you're still not sure, go on my website, listen to the testimonials of people that have taken my course and have learned from me to really hear the difference that it made for them as traders and investors. And again, thank you so much for watching this whole video. It means the world to me to have your guys' support and to be able to share all my knowledge and information with you guys. It makes me so happy that I've been able to grow and be able to share with you guys my biggest secrets in trading, all the knowledge that I've learned over years. So please drop a like down below We're trying to get to 100 likes, and I'll be doing 100 push-ups once we get that. Also, leave a comment down below if these tips were helpful to you, if these were things that you've never thought about, and what your thoughts are on the information that I provided. I want to hear what you guys think down below. And if you want more information or have additional questions, you can also ask them down below. And I appreciate every single one of you that spend time out of your day watching my videos. And remember, as always, keep it in the green.